Dhari Gopi Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamana Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira John Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Acharya restored Shishya Mata's divine grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. John Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Acharya restored Shishya Mata's divine grace. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki. Anantikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Naam Acharya Saridas Thakur ki. Prem Sakoho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki. Vrindavan Navadip Dham ki. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai ki. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi ki. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki. Nitai Go Premanande. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be discussing some pastimes from Shruti Kirti Prabhu's book called What is the Difficulty? Guess you know what the difficulty is, right? What is the difficulty? So we're reading the 66th pastime that's in this book. Initially he was just speaking it and somebody suggested that he write a book. So when I was looking at the one he spoke, there's some differences more detailed in the book. So we will look at the book and we'll discuss some points. And the first one is, they are in Maya, sleeping. April 13, 1973, New York to Los Angeles, California. So I'll try to paraphrase a lot of it. In some places I would read things. So this was, there was a flight from New York, and many devotees, arranged their seats to go with Srila Prabhupada. And he also, Shruti Kirti Prabhu also went on the plane, and he was fortunate to be close to Prabhupada. But as the flight progressed, the disciples began to fall asleep. And like sometimes you see that, when we go to a program and on our return, when we coming back, like yesterday, the devotees were like kind of knocked out. We had like an ecstatic kirtan in Pietermaritzburg, and then pizzas after that, and then the people are knocked out. So, it's quite a sight to see, like, a row of shaven head devotees, bobbing up and down, their head bobbing. And Prabhupada was not amused, it was not something that he said, just see, he said, everyone is wide awake except for the devotees. And he said, they are in Maya, sleeping. And he raised the question, why can't they stay awake? Why are they asleep? So Shuddhikirti Prabhu says, when Prabhupada addressed concerns like this, he became afraid. He was like kind of scared that he was not mature enough to get chastised. And Prabhupada's chastisement was so severe sometimes, it's difficult to digest. So he knew, no matter what good reason you gave Prabhupada, he will defeat that reason. You couldn't say, because the devotees slept less actually. They slept not many hours. And if he gave that as an excuse that the devotees slept less, he would counteract that. So he knew that, and anyway, but he said at least he did not sleep on the flight. He was awake. And Srila Prabhupada talked about, the defect, or often talk of how to reduce our eating and sleeping. Because that is something we have to do. We have to sometimes sleep, not that we kind of deny ourselves for so much sleep, but we shouldn't oversleep, but we should definitely be up for Mangalarti. So if you attend the morning program and then you kind of reduce your sleeping and your eating, if you reduce your eating, then it's easier to get up. Easier to get up. Like for ourselves, before I came to the Hare Krishna movement, we were trained to get up early. We never slept later than 4 o'clock. Even growing up as a kid. And it was just like natural for us to get up early. So we have to reduce, otherwise we are in the clutches of Maya. And Maya can attack at any time. Once Brahmananda Prabhu wrote, he wrote to Prabhupada, and he was saying that, why is he suffering from illness? And Srila Prabhupada wrote back, he responded, he said, don't be afraid to be attacked by Maya. Don't be afraid. You have to, you have to fight, do the necessary. And then he explained his own situation. He said, because when you're preaching, Maya is always there. So as you start getting more successful in preaching, Maya is behind you. She's not attacking the materialists. Materialists are already in Maya. She's only attacking the devotees. So the devotee is trying to run away from Maya. But he said he was preaching and so many young boys and girls got attracted to Krishna consciousness, and Maya saw that she was getting defeated. So she took advantage of his old age and attacked him, and he became sick. So, one has to be very, very careful. I'm making this point about Maya because we have to take this seriously. These are points that we have to follow, or effect in our own lives. There's many things we can say about Maya, There's so many things. But one thing quickly was like people are so steeped into material enjoyment. And an example given of once in Burma, in Burma what they do basically, they keep in a pot dead animals and insects or whatever, they just put it in a pot and it rots, it decomposes. So after a year or so, they filter the juices out. They call it napi. Anyway, they filter all the liquid out, and they have it on festival days in Burma. How's that? It's really horrible. It's rotten. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's men, probably in that same area, they were cooking puris made, it was made from ghee, and ghee, when it burns, it have a nice smell. And the neighbors were complaining, it is so horrible. Because they attach to such kind of life. So somebody is steeped so much into Maya, but so we have to be very, very careful. But if one thing he is all right in the material world, then he's doomed. Because the material world, you have to be just all the time alert. Something going to happen. You have to be doing something for Krishna. Something you have to be doing for Krishna. Okay. So that is one pastime. Is there any comments or questions on that? Or we can move on to the next one. Move to the next one. This is a nice one. This is what love means. To do service. Now, Prabhupada, he was coming to Los Angeles after 8 months or so. But before he jumped off from the plane, he would prepare himself. Just like a devotee goes, as his tilak, he should look nice if he's going into seeing the public. But Prabhupada, generally, when you're in the plane, as your plane is going to land, they'll say there must be no movement. But that's the time Prabhupada will wake up, get up and go to the bathroom, put his tilak, come back, put his garland, put his bead bag right. He's preparing himself to meet the devotees. Interesting. And he would prepare himself to meet the devotees. He would go into the bathroom and as he came out to the corridor, the chanting grew louder and louder. Louder and louder the chanting was. And at the same time, Srila Prabhupada's smile grew bigger and bigger. It was as he entered the lounge. And it was such, generally when Prabhupada, if you watch the videos, when he was met at the airports, you would see that there's hundreds of devotees, almost probably 300 devotees. And they're all chanting Hare Krishna. And they're dancing. And they felt these loving emotions, for Prabhupada. They were feeling transcendental bliss. And, it said for several minutes, it seemed that no one's feet touched the ground because everybody was in the air. You know how nice it is to just be in the air. You have this experience when you're singing and chanting and dancing, when you're in the air, here like yesterday, even Ravindra Swarup was in the air. He was singing and dancing. It was just so wonderful, that feeling. So yes, and torrents of ecstatic tears were flowing freely from people's eyes, they were just like torrents of tears. And this is all because they felt love for Prabhupada, that extreme love. So when Prabhupada arrived at the temple in New Dwarka, then immediately Shruti Prabhu, he kind of prepared for his massage. But during the massage, his mind was very disturbed. Because the pain he was feeling was good. He was in the sense that he was not feeling same as the other devotees who were dancing and chanting and jumping in the air and with so much emotions, they were crying. He didn't feel that. So, it was worrying him, and he wanted to speak to Prabhupada about it. So while massaging, he said, I finally got the courage to speak while massaging Srila Prabhupada's back. This way I did not have to speak to him face to face. Then he brought up the subject matter, as I said, he brought up the subject matter that all my God brothers are feeling these emotions and dancing and so much, but I'm not feeling that. So it's something to, it's an interesting point. Like, and he said, when in the airport, I really didn't feel like like the other devotees. And he was hoping that Prabhupada would say something to relieve his mind, but Prabhupada remained silent. It's a science also. Sometimes you have to think about things. You just don't have to blurt out things. Because somebody asks you something, you have to take your time, your patience to respond. It reminds me, Giriraj Maharaj, once Jamuna Devi and Jinatarani, there were two devotees, disciples of Prabhupada, they came to see him and ask him about Prabhupada, how his relationship had grown after Prabhupada had left, that love, that feeling. And he answered that one question, he answered for 3 hours. And they asked him, how is it that you could speak for so long on just one question? And he could go on that subject matter for 3 hours. Because your love grows, in time, love grows. So he was not feeling that, and he was concerned. But then after the massage, Prabhupada chanted his Gayatri mantra and then called him. So as he entered, he offered his obeisances to Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada brought up the question because he's not feeling that. So Prabhupada said, "Do you love me?" And and he said, "Oh, do you love me?" And he asked, "Oh yes, Prabhupada," I said, "I like serving you very much." And then Prabhupada said, "That is love." So when you're serving the spiritual master, you may not have this kind of feelings. But that doesn't not necessarily mean that you don't love the spiritual master. You get it? Sometimes like people are very close to the spiritual master and may be serving the spiritual master, but they may be very distant. They may be somewhere else, And somebody may be very far away, but they may be very close to the spiritual master. So then he said, then that is love, he explained. Everyone can do so, but you are actually doing something. Isn't that love? Because when you love somebody, you do something for them. It's not just, I love you, I love you. How long are you going to tell that? Isn't it? Like, I was a married man, so I know about this, I was young also and had a wife. So you understand these things. So you have to do something. So he said, I guess, Prabhupada, I guess so, I said. So he said, so you just do your service, he continued. That is all that is necessary. That is what love means, to do your service. Like I was recently in India and I thought about this point. That we went to see Giriraj Maharaj off at the Bombay airport. We left early in the morning to the Bombay airport. Many of us, it was quite a crowd, actually a big crowd. So that we had some connection with the airport officials there because the airport is tightly secured by the army, the Indian army. They're very strict. But they allowed us to enter into one area. Others couldn't go, the other people had come, but we could, all our devotees. And then the Maharaj just came into a particular way and escorted him straight through to the security. It was just such a feeling, and I've seen people crying, and some devotees were crying and full of emotions. I think myself, Swarup and Bhakti Priyad Bhagavat Maharaj and Pundari, we were milling around, walking around, and we didn't experience that. So later, I asked Bhakti Priyad Bhagavat Maharaj. These people were crying. What was it? He said he made an interesting point. He said, we serve in separation. We serve in separation. These people are just feeling separation, but they're not serving in separation. It's a good point, right? So it comes down to this point here that yes, we have to serve in separation, and that connection is still there with the spiritual master. It's an interesting point. So we just have to do our service. I was telling Virabhadra at this point because of Kadamba Maharaja's situation. That's how we have to look at it. Is it okay? So we'll discuss another one. We don't have much time, I think, but let's discuss another one or two. Huh? Okay, the next one was about, there's so much to say on it, just like, yeah. Anyway, I want to translate books, it's titled, 68. So Srila Prabhupada decided that, he wanted to focus on his writing and translating the books. So he was actually wanted to retire from managerial responsibilities. Because when you try to manage and do, practical services, it's very difficult if you did it. Now I've done that for a while. I can tell you, it's not an easy thing. You're doing both. So many things. It's difficult. So he decided one morning. He called Shuddhakirti Prabhu in the room, and he said, you could call Karandar. So Karandar was a devotee. He had faith in him. Srila Prabhupada had faith in him, and he was a very intelligent person. He had good abilities. And he often praised him, for his abilities. And he said, Karandar can do anything. And if any problem arose in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada would call for Karandar to solve it. So when Karandar was called, this devotee was called, this disciple, he said his divine grace stunned him by saying, I do not want to be involved in management so much. I want to translate books. So he was very enthusiastic. Yes, Prabhupada. Yes, enthusiastically he replied. So he took on all the responsibilities, the secretarial work and all the different responsibilities. And Srila Prabhupada said a few things. I want to have no business, no more business, no more management. You handle all my affairs for me. 3 things he told him. And Karandar left the room, ready to organize everything for ISKCON. So Shuddhakirti was amazed that Prabhupada is going to leave everything to the GBC to run the society. And he would have time because it was very, the whole area was very conducive for his writing and translating. But an hour later, Prabhupada again rang the bell and then he entered into the room, Shuddhakirti, and he said, call Karandar again. So when Karandar entered in the room, he saw there was a letter there. And then Prabhupada said, what is that? So he made him read that letter. So that letter came from one of the senior managers, so one of Prabhupada's senior disciples who managed some ISKCON temple, and Srila Prabhupada immediately and intently listened and then dictated a reply. So he gave a response to the letter. So which means his retirement only lasted 1 hour. From all his managerial, Srila Prabhupada's retirement only lasted an hour because he wanted to translate his books and he wanted to do that, but at the same time they were not so experienced, so he wanted to help them through it. It was a very difficult task, I think, to make them walk properly. Yeah. So the last one we will do quickly. I think we'll just have time for one more. And this is called 3 Things Keep Me Alive. So what are the 3 things that keeps him alive? 3 things that keeps me alive is, Prabhupada said, my morning walk, my massage, and my Ayurvedic medicine. 3 things. Morning walk, massage, and Ayurvedic medicine. 3 things. So he was very regular in doing all these things. He would do it very regularly and timeously. And even if he traveled for long hours, but the next morning he would be walking for 1 to 2 hours. He would at a brisk pace. And he would have his morning massage with sandalwood oil on the head for cooling, because sandalwood is cooling, and mustard oil for the body because it's heating. Very scientific everything is. Well done. And then he would have his massage, he would have his medication. I'll just paraphrase it because it's too long. He would take his Ayurvedic medicine. It was like specialized medicine. And it took the same medicine from September 1972 to July 1975. So he was taking that medication. And he would take his some mixture, some Ayurvedic medication before he would go for his war. So Srila Prabhupada never wasted any medicines. He used everything properly. He would have breakfast, and his breakfast was simple: local fruits, milk, some yogurt. But then his lunch he would eat at when the sun at its highest point, the heat, because then the digestion is good. He would rice, dal, chapatis, and in the evening he would just have hot milk and some honey or something like that. But rarely he ate some fried stuffs, which he liked very much, but he ate rarely those stuff like samosas in the evening. So he was in tune with his body. And to balance the doshas, the doshas, he would take khichdi, and khichdi is good in terms of Ayurveda, because as he writes it here, in simple terms, out of balance doshas are the cause of all disease in the body. Srila Prabhupada said, disease comes from 3 things. And listen to this carefully: anxiety, uncleanliness, and overeating. 3 things. Ravindra Saru? Overeating means more than you can digest. But there's another important Ayurvedic principle which Prabhupada talks about. He ate most times alone. Apart from when he was going to programs and he was like forced to eat in people's homes. But in most cases he would eat alone. And even when disciples are in his room, he'll just give them one piece of fruit and just tilt his head, they must go. You have to go. Right? So they had to leave. And then Prabhupada will honor his prasadam. And he would not drink water during his meal. And he would dive into his prasadam. Now it's interesting that he ate alone. Because when we were also growing up, maybe Yashoda Rani will know better, that we ate when everything was shut. The rooms were closed, the kitchen was closed, the mother will serve the food. It was very nobody has to look at it. Because if people are looking into the meal, their energy is going to the meal. And they'll be commenting of how much you're eating. It affects the person. Like I was taking prasadam with Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj. Now he's Sri Radha Raghunath ki. 2 minutes, I'll just complete it. So I was taking prasadam with Bhakti Brihad Bhagavat Maharaj, and I ate too much of rice, so so I ate a lot. So you were looking at me, and then that night I was not feeling good. So I had to go tell him next morning, oh, I think you put ice in the food. So he said, okay, you know what? He knows how that it works because he understands the principle. So eating, sometimes you have to eat alone, but in an institution it's sometimes difficult. But eating alone for me is good. And it says the best thing for health, and I'll just complete this. The best thing for health is to cook for yourself. You know why? No matter how hellish it tastes, you will like it because you made it. so yeah. So these are some of the points that we should take into account. Prabhupada is very instructive. I like talking on Srila Prabhupada, all the time. So wonderful. Well, thank you very much. We'll have Kirtan now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. No, if I get stuck, I'll. Hare Krishna. Eva Jaya Jaya Gora Chande Arati Koshoba Janavi Tatavane Jagamanaloba Takinenitai chan Pamegadagada Nikate Advaita Srini Vasa Chatradhara Kosi Ache Gora Chande Ratna Simhasane Arati Korena Brahma Adi Devagane Narahari Adi Kori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Bashu Goshadigaya Sankha Baje Kanta Baje Baje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Sankha Bhaje Kantha Bhaje Madhur 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 Baje Sankha Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Sankha Baje Ganta Baje Madhur 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 Baje Madhur 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 Baje Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Padana Ujjvala Kaladeshe Banamala Kore Jalamala Shiva Sukha Narada Preme Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Deke Gaurara Sampada Gaurange Arati Koshoba Jagamana Manaloba Gaurange Arati Koshoba Jagamana Manaloba Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavani Pasya Chadashatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadagara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadagara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pravija Acharya Story Sri Mata's Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Anandikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Naam Acharya Saridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kun Radhakun Giri Govardhan ki jai, Vrindavan Navadip Dham ki jai, Gangamai Jamunamai ki jai, Bhakti Devi Tulasi Devi ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Nitai Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to the assembled devotee. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladadayine. Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Nishingha Parato Nishingho Yato yamitato nishingha Pahir nishingho hirdaya nishingho Narashingha matim sharanam prapadye Narashinghamadim Sharanyam Prapadye Tavakara Kamala Varena Kamadbhuta Shringam Kalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Bhakti Vinga Vinasheka Shingade Bhagavan Ki Bhakta Shrestha Prahlad Maharaj Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki